All right, little flamingo handshake drum roll right there. All right. Everyone knows you guys. No introductions needed, really, but I'll read it off just in case. Building the future of Handshake, advancing wallets and ecosystem development. Thank you for the time, gentlemen. Take it away.
Too easy, thank you. So we have a short time slot, but we're mainly talking about the current state of wallets, and we'll go from there, I guess. So, Rithvik, you're in charge of Bob Wallet, basically. How's it going over there?
Yeah, so I think people might know me, but I just help maintain Bob Wallet. The latest release was 2.1.0 from last year, which we did for the soft fork. And since then, we've had a few new features and fixes, but it's not released yet. There are open pull requests that people can review. It fixes a few things, and there are a few features. Like, one thing I'm excited about is this multi-select feature where you can select specific domains and then run actions on them. Like, you want to renew a few specific domains and not everything that's going to expire. So you get to run bulk actions on specific domains by checking them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so there are a few things in the works. And Nodar has been working on HSD, or he has worked a lot on a V7 of HSD, which will be in the next pop release. It has a lot of things, but one of the things is it has a new pagination API where you can query parts of the wallet so that people with bigger wallets will find it easier to use Bob once it's ready. So you wouldn't find it hanging when you collect thousands of transactions, for example.
Yes, I did notice that in the new HSD. It's quite nice having paginated transactions.
Yeah, that's great. I think Nodar spent a lot of time on that. That was...
Yeah, so that's planned in the next Bob release, is that?
Yeah. There's a bit more in HSD for rescans. So if you're ever stuck with a rescan, it was hard to get out of it. But with this new API, it should be a lot cleaner. It shouldn't get stuck, but if it does, it'll just fall back easily. So that's coming.
Does this affect the initial sync or just rescans?
This is for rescans. So when you're interested in a new name and you rescan for an auction, or when you're just adding a new wallet. So yeah, all of this is going to be part of the next release. And
Sounds
I guess
good.
most of this is going to be like, the next release is going to focus on stability and not new features other than what's already in the works. Because I think people did just rather have a working wallet than like an unstable one. Yeah. So that's
better
it.
to have a wallet that has a few features that's super stable than have an unstable thing with everything.
Yeah.
Too easy.
So you want to share about the other wallets?
Well, I haven't looked at FX Wallet lately. Other than them, I mean, I talked about Fire Wallet yesterday. If you have any questions about that, send me in the message. Or if you have any questions about Bob Wallet also. What else do we have planned? So we're also thinking any features planned for maybe the release after for Bob Wallet? Or nothing planned yet?
In my opinion, like, the wallet should stay a wallet, but it should be flexible enough to work with other pieces of software that can do specialized things. Like, Fire Wallet has plugins, and people can write their own plugins and use them, right? So maybe something similar, I mean, not plugins, but like an API where they can connect to the wallet and prompt users to do things might be useful.
Just like a custom HSD wrapper sort of.
Right. I think if you want to sign in with a name, right now you'll have to copy whatever text into Bob and then copy the signature back to the website. So there's a bit of manual work which we can simplify. But also, if people have anything that they want to see added, we can talk about that. If you want to put in the chat, or even later, you can just create issues on the GitHub platform. Yeah.
Doesn't seem to be anything in the chat. Too easy. So, also chatting a little bit about just the entry into the Handshake ecosystem for developers. I mean, we've both been here for a while, but what's some of the things that is a pain for just starting a project or starting to use the Handshake ecosystem?
Right. So I guess we have a few websites for guides. I think when people visit the dev chat, the links that we provide, I mean, you can't see now, but it's the HSD dev website with the protocol summary and the API docs. And there's a few blog posts just scattered around. But I'm not sure if there's any single source of everything. The wiki comes close. There's Handypedia. I think you're running it now, right? Or was it?
Yep. Haven't updated it for ages, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess we
We need to have a more singular source of knowledge for people coming into the ecosystem to be able to find guides, technical documentation, protocol summaries, stuff like that.
I'm just thinking like right now, if we have certain parts, like if people are interested in resolving and they don't care about login, for example, maybe you can have separate paths like flows for them. Like I'm not even serious. It's like they might not be interested in all of Handshake, just certain parts of it. So
Yeah, so having a easier way to just do just resolutions or just using it as identity or something like that. Because right now we've kind of got a all or nothing sort of system.
like deprofile, which they just talked about, and they probably get the blockchain records, but I don't think there's any material that talks about getting those records directly. There are API docs, but that's everything. We don't have specific wiki pages.
Yeah.
It's probably something we can work on.
So I needed people to help write these wiki pages. So Handypedia lets anybody with a Handshake domain log in, add pages. The problem is nobody does it. So it gets out of date very quickly.
Yeah. Next
Other than that, we do have all sorts of documentation, but it is all over the place. It's, yeah, as you said, I mean, if I just look at, where's my Handshake tab or bookmarks? I've got the name-based learning center. I've got, which one's this one? That one's HNS Mercenary. Haven't seen them around for a while.
Yeah, that's the forum, right? The PHP one.
Yeah, and then you got hnscontributor.dev, some in Medium, some in Notion even. It's like, if we have just a simple place where you can get all the information, that would be quite nice.
I think we should be able to like find out what the devs need when they join, because for us it might be just common to just know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We need to get.
So ideally, we've got some tools for like super easy integration. So, for example, I'm thinking like a Python package to just have hns.resolve or something like that. That you can chuck it in a project. It has Handshake resolution in one line, super simple to do, something like that.
Yeah.
This is a nice spreadsheet you sent. Haven't seen this one before.
The link.
It's not for developers
chat.
exclusively, but that's the idea, is just to have when somebody is new.
Everything everywhere.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's rudimentary, but it could be a start.
Yeah, that's pretty good. With the summaries, you can probably make it searchable.
I should add a simpler method into media to make it easier to grab that sort of information. So, Pencil, I'm guessing, let me see, who actually owns this spreadsheet? Is that yours, Alex?
It is mine.
Yeah. So you probably have to ask Alex and he'll chuck it in. So,
Pencil.
please add all your information to Handypedia because it's nice to have everything everywhere. It takes like 2 seconds to add a page. You can add pages in plain text, easy to do.
And you can write about anything about Handshake. It could be as simple as
Exactly.
just a page for your website. Like if there's anything that you build or any website that's useful,
Yep.
it's a weird question, but is my webcam
Yeah.
just
Just on a little bit of tilt there. Don't fall off, you know.
okay back? I think it's because I
Easy.
opened the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay, so
So if
does
there's anything
anybody
you want to add,
in the chat have any features they want for Bob Wallet or Fire Wallet or basically thing that they think is needed for the future development side of Handshake?
it need not be in the wallet directly. It could be something that needs access to the wallet, so it can just indirectly be related. That's fine too.
It looks like we have a question for the Ledger application for Handshake. I think this was a Bob feature that came and went with Zipkin, possibly. Do we have any updates or thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the Ledger app was written a few years ago, and it was under review by Ledger for a few months, years, but before it got merged, their policies changed that you need to get an audit by an external company. Like, I don't remember the names, but you'll have to get it audited and then you submit this to Ledger. Yeah, so at this point, it's probably easier to just create a new app, a new Ledger app, which will need some dev work, and then get it reviewed by a security firm, and then we submit that to Ledger. So it's possible, it's just that someone needs to do it. Yeah. You want to add
Okay.
something? Because I haven't followed up there.
What about the on? It's been a long time, so I don't know if I just haven't tried it. The plugin for Chrome for Bob.
It is running, but yeah, I don't think we've spent any time working on that. Like it works, but we aren't actively maintaining it or adding new features right now.
Okay. So it's not okay.
So Sajjan just asked about community-funded email server for Bob notifications to alert you for domain expiration. It could happen. The problem is Bob Wallet, once it's turned off, there's no way for you to know if somebody else has renewed a domain, if the domain, do you set just a timer so the email will be sent in 5 days? What happens if the blocks are fast? What happens if they're slow? It's a lot more confusing than just a send me an email every 6 months sort of solution. Like, probably not too hard. Any ideas with Vic?
Yeah, like you said, it's not as simple as just setting a timer. There was, I think, Zipkin had this idea of a watchtower, or even Durandal, I think he worked on that, where you can offload that notification to another service that is running 24/7. So you could tell this service, for example, that you want to be notified about some domain or a change in some domain. And they would send you notifications, but it wouldn't be from Bob. Like the wallet wouldn't be the one sending the notifications.
Maybe, did you gentlemen catch the Shake Shift presentation earlier?
He was still asleep, sorry.
That is fun. It's Smith's Explorer.
Aw, but I kind of liked having hns.simon.d.
That still works. So
Oh, okay, that's alright. As long as it still works, I don't have to update my code to remove all hns.simon.d, replace it with shakeshift. But yes, if a Explorer did it, it should be a little bit easier because they're already keeping a record of domain expirations and they're running 24/7. The issue does still occur with you have to then store another database of this domain belongs to this email address or this other way of being notified. And a lot of people will probably accidentally abuse that, not realizing it because they have millions of domains. And how email works is if you send millions of domains, especially within 20 minutes if they all expire at the same block, your email server will be blocked. It doesn't matter what you do. So if somebody accidentally does that, like the service is basically ruined unless they manage to find a way out of it, which is pretty hard. Once your email server is blocked, there's not much you can do.
yeah, that is maybe if it's a paid service, then it might be better.
Yeah, or
You
some
can-
other notifications. It could be a Telegram message or something like that.
We're gonna have a little bit of time here because the last presentation is we're not gonna have it today. So our next one is Mike. We have a little bit of time if anybody has other questions, brainstorming. Something like what John was saying, something like what Namebase does. Can we set up a pipeline where an individual can set up an external to work with his or her individual wallet? So
Theoretically, it's not very hard. You basically just have to watch all these extra domains and see when they're going to expire. But you do have to have a service running at 24/7, and that does cost a bit of money. It requires maintenance, and shouldn't be too hard, but it does require a little bit of setting up. I mean, next time have some holidays from uni, I'll see how hard it is. I get 3/4 of the way in and realize, oh wait, this is impossible or something.
yeah, or the renewals are, you get such a long runway with Bob within 90 days, I think, is when it starts telling you.
Yep.
But the bids I forget about. That's what I forget about. I open up an auction and carry on with my life, and then a week goes by and freak out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, oh.
Yeah, you never reveal.
Or when you do 6 bids and you only remember 2 or 3 and go, oh, I've revealed already, it's all good. It's like, oh well, oops.
So the owner has the choice to pay for it. Huh?
Yeah, it could be a paid service, but I mean, look at the community. Paid services don't necessarily work too well.
Not today. Maybe it's a branch of an escrow service, right? Maybe it could be like a.
Yeah, it could just be a simple login, and you get 10 domain notification for free, and then buy a package of 100 domains for 1 HNS each or something like that, or buy notifications rather than. Oh, probably better to buy domains watched because each domain watched is the actual thing that server has to do, rather than buy for 100 emails or something.
And to Sajan's point, there could be thousands of domains at stake in a wallet, and it sounds like it's going to be easier and easier to have thousands of domains in a single wallet using Bob now. Is that what I heard earlier?
Mainly when you switch to the transactions tab, because of how HSD previously, or still in the Bob Wallet version, works, is it goes and gets every single one of those transactions. It still only displays some of them, but it still has to request every single one of those transactions. So the newest version of HSD will only get the first 100 transactions or even less, and that way it doesn't have to wait for the wallet to actually check every single one of those transactions. give it nice format and all that. So yes, thousands of domains should be easy to use. I mean, I know people with ridiculous amounts of domains and their wallets are always breaking, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. What about if and maybe this is just my ignorance, but I'll be dumb publicly. Is there an easy way to set up an alias for my Bob rather than my entire string of receiving? I have domains in there. Why can't one of them just become a destination for HNS tokens and domains?
You can. You do need to set up a web server for that, which is HIP5, I think it is.
Yeah. Right.
So, for example, I mean, I've set it up on some of mine. Let's see if I can share my screen. Maybe share. Sharing screen on Linux sometimes is a bit funky. No, it seems to work. Cool. So if I go to Namebase, I mean, you can look how much millions of dollars I've got.
Woo.
I can go and withdraw HNS to Nathan.Woodburn or just Woodburn.
But only 5,000. Just kidding.
Exactly. So it's like, so that is, I mean, I'll probably check, but that should be in my other wallet. Yeah, see? And that's just in, well, what could be Bob Wallet. You do need to have a web server for that. For example, Woodburn is on Linker. Wait, no, not Linker, HNS Links. So if you go to links.hns.au, you can create a links site like this, and that's what Woodburn is using.
Mm-hmm.
So that's free, and that way, if you want to, you can set up a HIP5 address, which basically just has this .well-known wallets HNS with your wallet address.
Doesn't Varo provide this as a service?
I think Varo does. I mean, I'll have to actually check. Go to Nathan.ShakeStation. Well, ShakeStation, not Varo, but yeah. Maybe it's going to work. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So ShakeStation has it. If you've got a ShakeStation account, you can just go chuck an alias in. But yeah, that requires a web server for how it is set up. Mainly to stop people in Namebase from just using their domain. So if it just went and searched the address that owns the domain, everybody in a Namebase or ShakeStation, because of how a custodial wallet works, is you can have hundreds of users' domains all owned by the same address. So if I just send it to the address that owns the domain, Namebase goes, cool, I just got money. I don't know who it goes to. Let's just leave it there and not deal with it.
Yeah. Which it feels like it's different with ShakeStation, with the alias. Or maybe that's what the alias does, is tells it who the account is. I don't know.
Yeah, the alias is using the same sort of system. So if you go to Nathan.ShakeStation, I should probably actually check. I think maybe it's just slow for me. Well, it doesn't give anything, but if you go to the dot, we can spell well-known /wallets/HNS, and you'll probably be able to just see that. So that's the HNS address it'll use, which should be the same as if I went to ShakeStation and just clicked deposit. Well, actually, it probably won't be the exact same because there'll be multiple. What's that? QN50. Oh, it is the same. There we go. QN50. So having a simpler system like within Bob Wallet, that would be nice. So for example, Bob Wallet, just my computer goes, but if there was, let me hurry up. My laptop. So what would be nice is, say, in the records, you could go off in this section under here, you go add an address, something like that. The problem is that would require a lot of either a whole new standard to be written, or it would require Bob Wallet to add web server records and then set up a not well-known wallets HNS on that web server.
It might be possible that running Bob has been overwhelming your connection. I understood what you were trying to say with the visuals, but it's hard to hear you.
I think I accidentally knocked my webcam. I've only got one USB-C port, but the webcam also wants USB-C and my monitor. So I'm running the webcam via a USB-C to A converter, and I think that might just be dying.
It's a lot of apparatuses.
Yes.
All right.
I just put a link in the chat. That's the one that Durandal worked on, where you can just hand over reveals and redeems to the service. So you don't need to keep POP open. And yeah, that should work.
That's for... Oh, how would that work?
So pre-sign your reveal and redeem and just hand it over to
yes.
Vancouver.
So, but not renews, because renews have a hash of a previous block, if I remember correctly.
Right.
So they can't be scheduled in advance unless you have the private key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just for reveals and redeems.
Okay. All right. Do we have any more questions for these gentlemen?
The last time you'll be able to ask for at least, 20 minutes? To do a networking session.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out in the networking session. We can definitely get more personal there at the tables. I am curious what it looks like. Rithvik's got some sort of like electric heat gun on the wall back there, so I'm curious what that is. But besides, all right, I think this is awesome. Shout out to both these gentlemen. If you did save that spreadsheet, there's a lot on there, including HNS AU, which is a huge, or HNS Australia, better said, is a huge resource of things, and it would be awesome to get more folks using Wikipedia. You already have the domains, you already have the knowledge. You want the community up to date. Let's put it together. Anyone can do that for sure. We're all directors.
This event wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. Our bronze sponsors, D-Web Foundation, .x, our community sponsors, Handshake Australia, Namebase, Decentralizers, HNS.market,